Hi, welcome to another update on the Every Semicolon series. So this one is a follow-up to my previous video where I talked about, the current status of the Every Semicolon series and the game we're working on, and what we're doing now, and how that doesn't really go with this series. So I've been thinking about what I want to do, and what I've decided is that I like to work on frameworks for games. I like to work on, taking content, like I'll talk about what I've got here on screen, but what I was thinking was I'd build like a framework for a game, some sort of genre that maybe isn't too common or hasn't been done before, or in like a Unity framework sort of situation, and I'd put it on the asset store for $5, something like that, and I'd record the entire process, maybe over a 2-day period of building this framework. So what I was thinking of was a Dungeon Master, sort of Eye of the Beholder, Legend of Grimrock, Lands of Lore 1 style RPG system, where it's the first person RPG where you walk down corridors, turn 90 degrees, it's combat, magic, inventory stuff, sort of puzzles. If you know the sort of game I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, yeah, have a look at Legend of Grimrock. It's a recent game in this genre, and it's pretty awesome. So I was thinking about doing something like that, where I build a tool to make the level, and I build all the systems and magic and the inventory and all that sort of stuff later to sort of make it fairly data driven, so that people can take this framework and build a game within it without too much hassle, and record the entire thing as an Every Semicolon style series where I talk through the entire process and start from scratch and end up with the finished framework. And if people wanted to follow along and do exactly as I'm doing, and they could save themselves $5, it's not have to buy the framework, but that's cool too. So what this is I ripped out all the content from Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance on the PS2. It's a PS2, Xbox, and I think GameCube game. Never was on PC. Snowblind Studios, and I think Black Isle, Interplay, went off and made the sequel, and Champions of Norath were made by Snowblind, and I really like these games and that generation of consoles. And I was thinking, I was actually randomly bought an original Xbox and picked up the games again, and it got me to thinking about ripping content out and just to have something to play with. And so, luckily, some guys have been working on a system for sort of a tool to get the content out of the binary sort of compiled archives of all the content from the PS2 game disc, and their code's still work in progress. I'm not sure if they're still working on it or not. I think it is from this year, but I was able to get in there and fix up some of the stuff, work with the normal. There's a lot of problem with the normals, and they were just sort of doubling up on triangles, having faced both ways. The triangle facing direction was all wrong, so I have got the triangle is facing the right direction most of the time. Everything's pretty much right, but you see like that wall, and there'll be other walls around that one. There's an issue with the normals, so I'd either fix up the extraction, or I'd just manually go through and fix up the problem assets. So what I was thinking of was, this is the first sort of dungeon in the game, the I think it's the cellar of the Elf Song Tavern. And I was thinking I'd take all this content, take this level, and build all the gameplay for it, the magic, the fighting, the AI for the enemies and everything. Build it as an Every Semicolon video as well, like I was talking about before, and make the framework for it, and release that in the asset store, probably with different content. I'm not sure about the legality of having this as example content in something I'd sell, but some missing measures there. But I think it'd be definitely cool to I'd really love to recreate what they did, and build out this first level with some nice new effects. The content is actually surprisingly quite good. It's quite high poly for a PS2 era game, and with some nice screen space effects and lighting and shadows, it can come out quite alright. And there's also Dark Alliance is sort of famous for its water effect, the sort of dynamic rippling as a character, and the AI walked through the water, created like dynamic ripples which then bounce off the edges, and it was a pretty cool effect. So get to recreate that. And here's the first room, and just build out this framework, which then I would probably use some different content and sell that in the asset store. And again, the entire thing would be recorded as an Every Semicolon video. So those are two examples of sort of what I'm thinking in terms of getting the series, happening again, and in an interesting new way. I think we'll be able to have something go from start to finish, an entire sort of, maybe in 2 days. I'd imagine that I could probably get the maybe not this one, but the other one I was talking about, the dungeon crawling RPG one, done in maybe a couple of days, pretty full on, not much sleep involved, and just have from start to finish the entire thing recorded, every semicolon style. I'll talk over it and talk about what I'm doing and show all the code, all the everything, create the tool for creating the level, all that sort of stuff, and and that way it's a finished sort of product at the end of the day. This every semicolon video, some sort of subtitle to it, and then again I'll do the same thing for this one. Might take a little bit longer, might be a bit of a longer situation, might take a week off from development of our game we're working on to do this or something like that at some point. But I'd love to do that. I think that's the best way to get things going. You can see here I've extracted some of the characters. That guy's got pretty much no clothes on. All the clothes and armor and that stuff are separate assets which get applied over the top of his base model, and you got the spiders there. I can get the animations out, I believe, which is pretty cool. And it's going to be pretty exciting. And this has got depth of field and screen space ambient occlusion, and got some color correction on the lighting there as well, which actually makes it look quite a bit nicer. Some HDR. The SSAO is actually really, really nice. It causes that you wouldn't actually see that normal issue on the wall if it didn't have the SSAO on there, but once that's fixed up, won't be an issue. And obviously, nice dynamic lighting and shadows. I think it's. I really like Dark Alliance, and I like those games, and I think this is a cool project to work on. So that's what I want to do at Every Semicolon from now on. Just work on cool projects. If I'm going to make any game frameworks, which is something I really would like to do that as an Every Semicolon series, and then put the product on the asset store for some sort of nominal fee. Obviously you can recreate the thing if you watch the videos for free, if you want to do that. So if you've got any suggestions on different sort of game frameworks you'd like to see, I don't know how much there is on the asset store for sort of relatively data-driven turnkey solutions that are fairly full-featured in terms of just what the design is, in terms of delivering something like this level, all the features, just make it so it can be expanded upon. There's no reason that once this level is finished that I couldn't extract all the other levels from the game and at least be able to run through them with and then set up all the AI and spells and stuff that I didn't do on this level without too much issue on top of the existing framework. I think there's like running, there's infinite runner sort of iPhone, Android, mobile games frameworks, which are fairly insignificant. Fair enough if you're not a programmer and you want to make a game, one of those sort of games, you can get those frameworks. But I think something a bit more substantial. I'm sure there's probably some first-person shooter frameworks on there and that sort of crap, but I'd like to do something a bit more interesting, bit more, probably put a bit more behind it, and it'd be pretty awesome having a Snowblind-esque Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance game style framework ready to go for people who want to make this sort of game, because I'd love to see more of these. And that's pretty much what I'm thinking. That's pretty much what I'm thinking for Every Semicolon going forward for the time being. We're getting sort of decent progress on the game at the moment that we're working on. Slowed down a little bit, had a few just things just going on that's sort of slowed it down a tad, but still going quite well, and hopefully we'll have something to show pretty soon. But we want to make sure it's all strategically done correctly and leading up to Kickstarter or whatever we do to try and get the game funded. Alright, coming from 10 minutes, that's a good length for the video. Dark Alliance remake coming soon. I probably will actually. I'd love to release the first level if I do get it finished, just as a free thing, this is an example application for the framework. It'd be, I think, fun if we were to play through with plug some 360 controls into your PC and play through the Dark Alliance level with some nice, sexy graphics. Maybe co-op as well. All right. Thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for hopefully this series of the Dark Alliance remake videos and the other framework and other stuff from us on our various products. Thanks.